Hey, English 30B. Today I'll be talking about what I've learned throughout English class and how I've improved as a writer from the beginning to the end of this semester. I'll start off with the epic story. The epic story really helped me improve as a writer, even though I didn't hand it in. At first, I wasn't very interested in English, but the epic story really drew my attention because I'm a very fantasy kind of guy. And it was very interesting to see how all these action movies really do follow the same path of like tragic backstory, ability, a goal to get to, and like the challenges you faced along the way to develop as a character and what you face at the end with a grand dramatic ending and such. Then we moved on to the Greek mythology stuff, which I'm a big Greek guy. I play God of War, so I, know all of the gods basically. It was fun learning about the story of Odysseus and like his adventures, the challenges he faced. Again, back to the plot points of how it follows the same path. But it was also interesting learning how they wrote like the news, I think it was, of how the story they go through, and from like the main most interesting point, and they keep going down till it's like boring. It was very interesting seeing that, how they write like almost opposite of what we do today. It was also fun watching Coupled. Really made me see how much I like those shows. I watched all of season 1. It was a bit sad that there wasn't any more episodes, but moving on, we went to Hamlet after, which took up most of the year. I didn't think I was gonna like Hamlet because I haven't liked Shakespeare's writing much throughout English, but it was very fun with this class. I wasn't excited to read out loud, but it was still fun. And I feel like that brought our class together better, which was interesting. And it also helped me speak better out loud because I'm generally a quiet person. But I've realized that I can speak a little bit better now. Usually I'd be stuttering a lot more or be a lot more quiet. But doing this really helps the thoughts flow. So I can thank Mr. Green for that. But this Hamlet part is where I feel like I increased the most as a writer because it like has the most assignments and I did most of them. But it was interesting learning like the literature of Shakespeare back then. I was usually very confused on it, but now I feel like I can understand it a bit more, which also helped in my writing assignments because I could grasp what it was asking better and I could actually use points from the book instead of just winging it of what I think it is. So I feel like that helped me write my ideas better. I gradually became more fluent in writing the 3-paragraph assignments. Could comfortably write one for a while, and then around like the 4th one I could comfortably write 2 paragraphs, but I'm still like struggling a little bit on the 3rd one, but I could still get it done. The revenge paragraph assignment is where I feel like I really stepped up because like that's where my ideas could flow better with what the paper was asking for, and I could like really connect with it better. So I feel like me as a writer, I need to find like something to connect the thing to, like the assignment to me, which helped it become way easier and more fun to write. Not only the assignments, but the checking in on your folder, like where you have to explain how you think you did and why this piece of writing do you think is your best writing. I feel so also helped with my thoughts. my punctuation is still a bit bad, but I feel like it's improved throughout this class. But I feel overall I can use more words now instead of just repeating and repeating all over again. As I was struggling to write the 2 paragraphs and such, I didn't only improve on my flow of writing, but I feel like I also improved on the words I used in my writing. Instead of it feeling like a repetitive over and over, I'm basically writing the same thing. I feel like I actually wrote about the topic instead of me just winging it throughout this class like I usually do. The essays I usually did bad on, I was doing better in this class, even though we only did 2. I'm usually used to 5 or 6 essays in a year, but I'm glad it was only 2. Those essays would usually take 4 or 5 days for me. I finished it all up in 2, and I got better marks than I usually do, which I was happy about. So I feel like that also showed how much I've improved as a writer, not only in how fast I write, but my overall writing, my punctuation, the words I use, and how descriptive I am. As we continued into poems, which is my least favorite part of English. But this year, it wasn't as bad as it usually is. Connecting it with music and saying poems is basically just music helped. So I feel like doing that helped me with processing the thoughts of the poems better. I could grasp what it was talking about easier, even if it wasn't 100% accurate. Usually I'm just winging that poem, no clue what it has, but connecting it to music helped me grab the meaning of what the poem is trying to say easier. Even if it's just 80% accurate, it really helped me a lot through the poem part. Usually when I would be struggling, if it was the old me, I probably wouldn't even have done one of the assignments. But when it came to it, I was flying through them quite easily. Even if I didn't do all of them, I did do half of them, or a little bit most of them. So from that part, what I learned was how to read poems, understand them, and not just throw them to the side after one read. You gotta read them over and over. And it made me realize also how important knowing the description of words are. Because if you didn't know the word's meaning, the poem would just be gibberish with the different words it uses from what we usually use, which also increased my vocabulary, learning all those new words. And I found that kind of fun, and I usually thought that was boring. So overall, I had a really fun time in Mr. Green's class, and I hope you guys did too.